Hello friends, we are going to do a relatively soft practice, and that's relative. For some of us it might be very challenging, but we're going to practice today with a sense of softening into ourselves and having this, in essence, of the heart leading us through our practice. So when we are in times where there can be a lot of chaos, we are born of chaos actually, and there's chaos all the time, but a lot of times our routines will help us to feel like there is more stability. And then when all that is taken away from us and we feel unanchored or untethered, our energies can seem to get very scattered, and we tend to go more towards into the mind that will shoot all kinds of what ifs, we ought to, blaming, and it's like a child out of control. So at those times we bring ourselves back into our heart, and that's why the tool of using the breath in our body is always available to us to help us to soothe and calm our being. So as we breathe deep, we start to be able to relax. So we offer this practice in that way, to come to our mat when we are feeling great and loved, but also we come to our mat when we need a sense of being more grounded and centered. So let's take a comfortable seat. Let your hands just rest on your knees or in your lap. And if they're resting on your knees, perhaps think about bringing your index finger and your thumb together in what is called Jhana Mudra, which is just the mudra that helps us to, it's also a tool for the mind. It helps us to relax the mind, the way we hold our hands. The index finger and the thumb are just bringing our mind and our consciousness together so that they can work as one. And then deepening your breath. Focusing on being able to feel the lungs fill up and then also to empty on your exhalation. Allowing the shoulders to move down away from the ears. Let's bring our hands in front of our heart, and we'll start with one Om, either silently or out loud, whichever feels comfortable for you. So we'll breathe out and in. Om. Allow your left hand to come to your chest, the center of your chest where your heart would be, and allow your right hand to come out, palm out. Fearless Heart Mudra, Abhaya Mudra. Just take a couple breaths here to see if you can bring your focus more into your heart center, away from the mind. And a little bit more, you can feel it right underneath your hand, your left hand. Allowing your breath to help you to feel that everything is okay in this moment, in these moments that we have on our mat. We're going to do a little chant together here for just a couple moments. Aham Prama. Aham Prama. I am love. Again, bringing our focus into our heart. So join us either out loud or silently. So breathing out as you breathe in. Aham Prana. Aham Prana. Aham into center, into Anjali Mudra prayer. Let your baby finger and your thumb stay together in the base of your palm, and then just opening up the middle 3 fingers and forming what looks like our own human flower with our hands. It's called Padma Mudra, or lotus. Maybe just place an intention into your own lotus. It can be for yourself or for someone in your life. Or perhaps it's for the whole planet, allowing yourself to let the earth sit in our lotus and have it surrounded by love and understanding and compassion. And we offer our practices to all beings. On the exhale, go ahead and release your hands, bring them on down. If you're sitting up on some height, go ahead and bring that out. And we're going to start with just some really nice opening of the body. So bringing your hands out, we're going to keep the sit bones, the butt going down towards the mat, and then just feel a nice little calm opening. Pull the lower belly in to really help keep the lower back safe. And this is just a really light opening in the body. Whenever we're doing any poses in a seated position, we really want to make sure we keep the lower belly engaged, to keep the lower back safe. And just breathing nice and deep. And we're just going to walk the hands over to the left, but still keeping that right hip tracking back. And feeling this whole side body, the long side body, the intercostals of the ribs just opening up. And just breathe into it. There's nothing to do but be here in the practice. Being present on your mat. And then inhale, coming through center, and on your exhale, taking it over to the right side. Nice full breath. Combining the breath and the body is what yoga is all about, bringing all the parts of us together. And come on back through neutral, and then come on back up to seated. Just bring your right hand over to your left knee. And we're going to bring our left fingertips back behind us. First, we're going to get nice and tall. We're going to engage those lower abs to help support the back, and then just twisting. Again, keeping that sense of ease in the body. Feeling any place of resistance and breathing into it. But not pushing too hard. Pulling in and up. We'll come through center, and then switching sides. So now your left hand's on your right knee, your right hand is behind you, you come up nice and tall, and just twisting over that right shoulder, breathing nice and deep. Couple nice full breaths here. Come back to neutral for a second, again, always keeping the extension. We're just going to bring the fingertips back behind us, and now the fingers are going to actually face towards the body. We're going to roll the shoulders up, the shoulder blades go down towards the mat. Bring your head back to line up with the spine so that there's no strain in your neck. And then just bringing the heart forward, and again, breathing deep. So in this softness, we actually are offering our heart up and out as well. The fearlessness is to have the courage to be open, even when there seems to be so much darkness. Pulling in and up. Come back to neutral. Gonna bring the right fingertips out, left arm up, and then just crescenting over to the side. So really tracking the right hip down. And again, we're being really gentle here. A nice deep breath to feel it open up. Inhaling up through center and then over to the other side. So the right fingertips are down and the left, we crescent from the left over to the right. Again, track down the hip. Get the most out of the stretch. Nice. Inhale, come on back up. And we're going to come onto all fours. So lining up your wrist, your elbows, and your shoulders so that they're right out from the shoulder joint. So that's giving you the most support. And then your knee is lined up with your hip. So we're not back too far or forward, but we're lined up in this nice little tabletop position. So curl the toes under for a little bit more stability, and we're gonna do some cat-cow. So today what I'm gonna ask you to do is we're gonna breathe in as we push up into cat, and then we're gonna, as we exhale, we'll come into cow pose. So we're gonna do just a couple deep breaths like this. So as you breathe in, we're gonna stretch out the spine, and exhaling, bringing the spine into the opposite direction, head up. And now just find a rhythm for yourself here for another 3 or 4 breaths. And just letting the spine open up for the practice. And then find yourself back to neutral table. And we're gonna come into puppy pose. So the knees are gonna stay right underneath the hips. And we're gonna bring the hands out, maybe staying up on the fingertips. Then we're gonna start to melt down. The underarms are coming up away from the mat, the shoulder blades hug towards one another, and opening that whole front of the body, but feeling a nice stretch in the back of the body as well here, especially in the shoulder area. And then just keeping the breath deep. Whenever in doubt in yoga, just breathe. We're gonna come up slightly. We're gonna bring the left hand up and then through. So we're gonna thread the needle. We're gonna come onto the back of our left hand, push down into the right hand, and really, some of us will be able to bring that left shoulder down. Others will be up. Doesn't matter, just have the integrity of the pose by having muscular energy in both hands and just really opening up to feel the shoulder. Beautiful. And a nice deep breath in, we'll come back up to neutral. And then starting to move to the other side. So the right hand up and then through. A couple nice deep breaths here. And then inhaling, come on back up to all fours. So we're gonna come onto our knees for a second, so either grab a blanket or you can just roll your mat back. We're not gonna be here for very long. But just a couple things. So bringing your left hand across the front of your body, so you're gonna resist, your hand's gonna come in towards the elbow, and you're gonna try to bring this left shoulder back. Just enough to really feel an opening right through here in the muscles. Exhale, release, and then just switching sides. So the right arm comes across, the left hand is kind of helping us to get that movement in the shoulder, breathing nice and deep. Exhale, release down. One more thing here. We're just going to bring our hands back behind us. So they can be, your fingers can be interlaced, or you can grab your forearms and then bring the shoulders up and back, and then just opening up the body, maybe bringing them away from the torso, just to open again in front, but keeping the chin back and lined up with the spine. A couple deep breaths here, and then exhale, release. And if you've turned your mat over, go ahead and bring that down. And we're gonna step forward with our right leg into a low lunge. So keeping in mind the softness, the breathing deep, and breathing it, imagine that you can breathe it directly into your heart center. So we're gonna bring the left hand down. We're gonna bring the right hand onto the right knee and give ourselves a little twist here. So we again are lining up the wrists, the elbow, and the shoulder on this left hand, so we're really supported, and then we're twisting open. So we might feel really good here, taking a breath. Some of us might lift our arm up. the right arm up towards the sky. And then you can just feel the beauty of the body responding to your breath and opening up. Beautiful. Inhale. Go ahead and bring that hand down. We're going to come up to both hands on the front knee, so on the right knee. Bring the fingertips out towards the front of your room, and then bring the head of the arm bones back. We're going to lightly tuck the tailbone under so we have a nice stable base to go ahead and bring the arms up and breathing nice and deep. Beautiful. Exhale. Go ahead and bring the hands down. We're going to bring both hands down to the floor and come onto all fours. Maybe you need a pause or take a breath, and then go ahead and bring your left foot forward. So set up the posture from the lower down so that you feel nice and stable. And then we're going to come into this Anjaneyasana variation. So now we'll lean over onto the right hand. The left knee will help us to push in and twist. Again, not coming into the mind, but coming into the body. Maybe the arm will come up, maybe it'll stay down. Maybe you'll keep it onto your heart somewhere, wherever it feels right for you in this moment. And breathing. Inhale, start to come on back up. Over the front leg. We're going to bring the hands out. Fingertips, squaring them off, shoulders down, tuck the tailbone gently down, and then coming up. Opening our vision. Making it not so small, but actually looking up to the sky. Beautiful. Exhale, go ahead and bring the hands down, and we're going to come down onto all fours. So we're going to push back into a downward facing dog here. So really ground all four corners of your hands, and then just push back into downward dog, and then walk the dog out. So just alternating your heel presses down to the floor to open up the backs of the legs. Again, reminding yourself to keep the breath long and luxurious through your body. The practice can really help with the sense of relaxation when we keep the breathing nice and long. Beautiful. Go ahead and come back to neutral. Now, we're going to come to a high lunge with the right leg forward. So Steve's going to come through in one swoop there. I'm going to come down to all fours, come forward, and then up. Or you can stay in low lunge. We're going to bring both hands to the front. So squaring off the hips, we're going to bring this right hip back, left hip forward, reaching out with the back heel to really feel stable. Again, we're going to bring the arms out, and we're going to bring them up and over. We're going to make our lotus mudra here. So Padma Mudra with the hands opening up into our beautiful flower. Breathing deeply. Maybe remembering your intention. And then on your exhale, let's bring the flower down in front of our heart. Then in your exhalation, bring your hands to your knees, and we're going to start a twist. It's going to depend on your body. So we can just bring this left hand to the outside of the right leg, and my right hand is on my hip. And I start to twist. Steve's going a little bit deeper, and it can be in degrees. He's going for prayer position. It can also be just to bring the forearm like this and twisting open. Find your spot. Find the pose. Find your breath. On your next inhale, we're going to come back up to high lunge. We're going to go ahead and bring our hands down. We're going to step back into downward facing dog. Taking a breath, as many as you might need here. And then again, we're going to come in. This time the left foot's going to be forward. So you can come in by bringing it forward, come in through low lunge, and bringing the leg up. Find your sense of balance by pulling everything into the midline of your body. It hugs in as we bring both hands to the front knee. Hands to heart this time. Opening the flower here. Now placing our intention, and then let's give it up to the world. Beautiful. There's so much beauty in each moment. And the more we open up to it through our breath, and through looking wide, through a wider lens, we can see it. On the exhalation, go ahead and bring the hands down. We're going to start a twist. Again, different variations. Using the breath to allow the body to open up. Breathing nice and deep. Just finding that place where you can still have a sense of ease. So the breath is coming in and out. On your exhalation, hands back to knees, and then go ahead and bring them down. And we're gonna bring the back leg forward this time. We're gonna just bring our hands to our shins, or if they're really tight, to here, to the bottom part of the quads, and then just lift up and out. On your exhalation, you may go just a little bit deeper on that. Your hands may not touch the ground, just use your shins to have something to support yourself. And then we're gonna inhale, arms out to either side or up in front, and we're gonna come up to standing. Exhaling the hands down in front of the heart, and just close your eyes for a moment. You get a sense of what's going on in your body. And maybe even from the beginning of the practice to now, you're feeling a little bit calmer. And if not, it's okay. But if you are, help to remember what this sense of breathing and simple movement can do for your essence, and for your heart. Go ahead and open your eyes. We're going to do some simple breathing arms. So arms are going to go down and then up. And then just bring it back down and through to the heart. Inhale, exhale. Just really just feeling the movement of the arms. One more time. This time we're going to actually bend forward. So inhaling, exhale the arms down and up. And as you exhale this time, we're going to come forward into a forward bend in Uttanasana. And then we're going to inhale all the way back up. Exhale, fold. Inhale back up. One more time. Inhale, exhaling, folding forward. And then exhaling back up. Hands to the heart. And release. We're going to do a couple sun salutations and they'll have some variations. So, just bring yourself to the top of your mat with your feet right underneath your hips, about hip distance apart. Bring your hands to your heart. Remember your intention. Remember your breath. And remember the beauty of your life. Exhale, release the hands, inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhaling, half lift. And on your exhalation, we're going to take the right leg back into high lunge, or low lunge if you need it. Feel the opening in the body through this lunge pose by reaching out to the front knee and the back heel. The crown of the head reaches forward on your next. So inhaling, on the exhale, we're going to bring this foot back, the left foot back, and coming into plank pose. Start to lower down towards the floor, flatten the feet, roll the shoulders up and back, really pushing down to the floor with the legs, feeling an opening in the body, cobra or up dog. Exhale, releasing down, coming back into downward facing dog. Nice breathing, just keep yourself really centered. On your next inhalation, we're going to bring the right leg forward. Feeling the other side of the body opening up. Pulling into the lower belly for this next inhale to pull us forward into Uttanasana. Inhaling half lift. Exhale, fold. Next inhalation, the arms come out to either side, all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, reaching up and out. On your exhalation, place the hands, take the right leg back into high lunge, and then bring your left hand to the inside. So both hands are on the inside of your left knee, your left leg, and then we're just gonna maybe bend the elbows. Some of us might come all the way down to the elbows, or you might have your blanket or a prop to put your elbows on, but either one is good. Keep tracking the front knee in towards the center, and breathing deep. Inhaling back up, placing both hands on either side of the front foot, we're going to push back into downward facing dog. We're going to come through our first vinyasa here. So coming through to plank pose, exhaling to the floor or chaturanga, inhaling up dog or cobra, and exhaling back to downward facing dog. On your next inhalation, bringing your right leg forward into high lunge. Feel that positioning of the body, the extension in all directions, allowing every part of you to participate. The mind is even participating, but we're trying to calm it down just a little bit. Bring the right hand in, start to bend those elbows to where you're comfortable. Again, you can just do a slight bend. You can take your arms out further. If the hips are really tight and you want to come down a little bit further, just kind of play with where your body wants to be today. Good. Inhale, come on back up to either side. On the next inhalation, we're going to pull the back foot forward, bringing us into Uttanasana. Add the half lift with your inhale. Exhale, go a little deeper. Next inhalation, arms out to either side, coming all the way up. Exhale, release down in front of the heart. Remembering to stay soft. Keep a sense of ease. And then in your practice, if there's ever a time where the heart is racing and you feel anxiety, offer your practice to someone in your life or to all beings. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, go a little deeper. Inhale, half lift, and this time take that right leg back into high lunge. On your next exhalation, we're going to take the left leg back to meet it, coming into plank pose, and then slow lowering down to the floor to chaturanga or up, and then coming into up dog or cobra, and then coming back to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg forward, high lunge. Exhale, left leg to meet. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, go a little deeper. Hands out to either side, all the way up to standing with hands in front of the heart. Beautiful. Now we're going to do a series of standing poses together. So let's go through, we'll go through it through a sun salutation. So taking a nice deep breath, exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling fold. Let's go ahead and do the half lift, and then on your exhalation, placing your hands and taking your right leg back into high lunge. We're going to turn the back foot, so your right foot is even with the back of your mat, and we're going to bring our left arm up to our front knee. And taking a couple deep breaths here. We have some variations on Parsvakonasana or side stretch. So let's take the right arm back behind us, palm up, and then bring it up and over the ear. And we can stay right here. Some of you might be working a little bit deeper it's fine. You can bring the hand down to the floor, the left hand down to the floor, or even to the inside. And then find your breath. Couple breaths here. Then push down into the floor to rise up to come into a warrior two positions. So shoulders are down away from the ears. The left knee is tracking straight out over the second and third toe. And there's a nice sense of being grounded in that back foot as well. The right hand's going to come to the right thigh, left arm up, crescenting back. Coming back into warrior two, we're going to come into a straight leg warrior two. So just straightening that front leg. And we're going to get long through the side bodies and pour ourselves over into a triangle pose. Again, it can be here on the shin, on the knee, all the way down onto a prop, wherever you might be working your triangle. And breathing nice and deep. Exhale, go ahead and bring your hand to your hip, so your right hand to your hip. And we're going to just twist towards the front leg. So we're going to bring this back foot. So the right foot is going to come in just slightly. And we're going to twist up and over. So we're going to do like a half lift here. And then we're going to, let's track the left hip back nice and deep. And then come forward. So we're going to get a nice opening in the belly of the hamstring and the calf. And then breathing nice and deep. We might even start to do a little variation where we bring the right hand to the outside of the left leg and twisting open, but we're listening to our body. Beautiful. Come back to center. We're gonna bring our hands down to the mat, and we're gonna push back into downward facing dog. So readjusting your feet to come into your down dog. Inhale, exhale, come forward. Exhale, down to the mat. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhaling, back to downward facing dog. Couple nice deep breaths. On your next inhale, we're going to bring our right leg forward. And we're going to turn the back foot flat and coming into Parsvottanasana with the right elbow onto the right knee. Tuck the tailbone to bring this left shoulder back. We're going to bring it back on to the back of the room and then up and over the ear. Any of those of you who might have shoulder issues or whatever, you can leave your hand here on your hip or bring it into your heart to twist open. Nice breath there. Inhale. Sorry. Yeah. And then Steve's doing another variation. And on the inhale, we're going to come up to warrior two. Right knee tracking straight out. On the exhalation, left hand to the back thigh, right arm up. Breathing nice and deep. Back to warrior two, and then a straight leg warrior two, and then melting over that front leg. Really lifting the muscles to keep the kneecap lifted, opening up the pose into triangle pose, whatever it is for you. Beautiful. Go ahead and bring your top hand, so your left hand to your hip. We're going to scoot in just slightly so that we can twist the hips to be more even, bringing the hands to the front leg, and then we can feel that opening here in the belly of that hamstring on your right side, and we might even start to do like a little variation towards a reverse triangle or a reverse Parsvottanasana, and just opening up the pose. Beautiful. On your next inhale, exhale, release. We're going to go ahead and just bring the back foot. Actually, let's come down onto all fours and take a child's pose. So bring your big toes together, hips come back. And if this is not accessible to you, coming up onto the forearms and being onto your knees, but finding a place where you can just really relax or let go for a moment. it's in these pauses in our practice that we remind ourselves of the beauty of life and its true meaning. So much more of our life is happening inside with our eyes closed than all of the things on the outside. But yoga gives us that opportunity through our practice to use the manifested, beautiful clay body that we each have to do what it can. We keep it safe, we keep it moving, and it allows all of this beauty inside of us through our soul, through our spirit, to really express itself fully. So go ahead and come on up to all fours, and then let's come on up to standing. So we're going to balance on one leg. So if you normally use a wall, please help yourself. So we're going to come onto the right leg, and we're going to come into Vrikshasana, into tree pose. So ground yourself through this right leg. Really pull up through your arch to stabilize your foundation or the trunk of your tree. And then bring your left foot in to wherever you're going to work. It can be this nice kickstand that helps us to be able to work it. It can be into the shin, or it can be all the way up into the thigh. And then we're going to bring our hands in front of our heart. And find that place that you can just kind of zone out. Eyes are open, like an open meditation in our tree pose. And let's take our hands up to the center of the body, and then finding Padma Mudra if possible. On the exhale, the arms are going to come down parallel to the floor. And we're going to bring the index finger and the thumb together. The right arm to the heart. And then the left arm up. Exhaling, both hands coming up to the sky. Down to the heart. And then releasing the pose. Beautiful. So we're going to switch sides, so we'll be now on our left foot. Grounding down, making the base nice and strong, pulling up through the arch into the leg, and then bringing the foot wherever you're going to work it today. The kickstand, the shin into the thigh, and find that place where we can bring everything together. The yoking of all that we are, we see in the symbolism in tree pose to balance on one leg. Everything works together. Now on this side, we're going to do it a little different. We're going to bring our hands into Jhana Mudra and then take our hands out to either side. We're going to bring the left hand into the heart and the right hand in. Hands into Anjali Mudra, and then up and over the head. Again, hands are going to come down parallel. Stay with me here. Maybe Jhana Mudra again, or palms straight out. And then we're going to twist over the bent leg, so over our right leg. Challenging ourselves to see what we can do with this. Coming back to center, hands to heart, and then dissolving the pose. So we're gonna do a little variation of a dancer's pose. Those of you who already have more of an intermediate practice that when they go into dancer's pose, it's great. But I'm going to take us through something a little bit different. So coming back on now to the right foot. We're going to bring the foot back onto the shin. So instead of up into the thigh, even if you can work it there, we're going to bring it onto the shin, bring our hands together. Good. Find that sense of balance and ease. And then we're going to bring the left knee in. We're going to activate the foot and start to take the foot back behind us. So the bottom of your foot is coming up as if it's going to stand on the ceiling. So we've got nice engagement throughout the whole body. Some of us might just stay here. This might be enough. Others might take their hands back behind them. You might find that as the body opens up a little bit, we can really find that sense of balance and ease, hands to heart. Inhaling, coming up. And then replacing it onto the floor. Beautiful, nice. Let's start again on the other side. So left foot, bringing the right foot into tree pose onto the shin. Take a nice deep breath. And then start to transition by bringing the knee in, really keeping both legs active, coming forward, doing a little combination here of tree, dancers, and warrior three. A couple nice deep breaths here. Beautiful. Inhale, hands to heart, and then come on back down. So one of the important things on balancing poses is, yes, it's beautiful to get the pose completely, but it's also nice to know how you treat yourself when you fall out of it. Yeah. Being nice to yourself or not. Okay. So let's just take a stance so we can come into a wide leg forward bend. So you can judge how wide usually by connecting it with how far your wrists are up. And then the toes are slightly turned in, but we're gonna really lift the baby toe side up and then spread out so we can really engage the muscles all the way up to the legs. Inhale, bring your heart up to the sky, and then on your exhalation, bending at the hips, coming forward, bringing both hands down to the floor. So we're gonna come into a wide leg downward dog. So you're gonna take your hands out and you're just in a down dog, but a really wide version of it, and breathing nice and deep. On your next inhalation, start to move the hands back. Place your left hand in the middle of your mat, and then we're gonna twist. We're gonna bring the right hand to the right hip and start to twist open. Again, finding the breath. Depending on your shoulder, you might bring that right arm up, but if not, you can still, just using the leverage of the hands, pulling the lower belly in, feeling the strength of your body, using the energy that you can pull up from your feet into your legs, and just twisting open and allowing there to be a beautiful opening in your body. On your exhalation, bring the right hand down, start to twist to the other side, left hand to the hip or up above, and then start to twist open. Again, finding the breath, keeping it nice and even. Exhaling both hands to the floor, making sure the feet are activated. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, come all the way back up to standing. Feet are still spread apart. Bring the arms up. Exhale the hands down behind you, interclasping the fingertips. Roll the shoulders up and back, and then bring the hands up off of the body. And on your next exhale, coming forward. Shoulder blades moving down towards the hips. The head, the neck, the cervical spine of the neck gets nice and long. Maybe an audible exhale helps to get some energy out of your body. Pulling in and up to the pelvic floor and the lower belly. Inhale, come on back up. Bring your hands and bring your heart. Kind of wiggle your feet together, and then come on back up to the top of your mat. With grace and style, come to the top of your mat. So we are going to come lying down onto our mat, and you are welcome to use the wall, but we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to ask Steve to put his hands under his glutes. We're going to come into a wall-less legs up the wall. So he's going to bring the way he's got his hands placed are going to help him with any lower back issues, and then he's going to bring his feet up to the sky if possible. So if not, if that is a lot on you, you can get the same benefits by just keeping the knees bent or finding that place where your feet and everything can be active. But otherwise, the feet are flat up towards the ceiling. And then find that calming breath for yourself. Again, almost like you start to be able through your practice to use these long, delicious breaths as a way for an inner massage, especially through your heart. Nice. I'm going to ask him to go ahead and lower the legs down and to turn over onto his left side. So the bottom leg, I'm going to do bottom and top, so not really more for me than you, but I'm going to ask him to bend his top knee, and then I'm going to ask him if he can to grab his big toe. Okay. Now, you can use a strap. If you don't have a strap, you can use like a tie or a belt. And then I'm going to ask him to try to start to extend that leg up in the air. You can see that he's got his arm down here for to help him balance. Beautiful. Now I'm going to just suggest that he try leading the leg up and bringing this hand down to this hand. Right, beautiful. And then exhale, slow lowering back down. And again, you can bend your legs as much as you need to for this. Nice. And then just slowly start to move over to the other side. So your foundation leg, which we're switching sides now, so your right leg is your foundation leg. The right arm is out, and we're going to bend the left knee and grab that left big toe. And then either bring it up or think about it. Again, you can use a strap. You can even grab your calf. And then we're going to try to come up more on the hip. So rolling up more onto the hip and bringing the leg back is going to make it a little bit more challenging. Beautiful. Exhale, just bring your left hand to your right, and then slow lowering down. Take a nice deep breath there. And then we're going to ask him to come onto his back, and we're going to go into a bridge pose. So bending your knees so that and bringing your feet in, but not too close. So because we want to get more extension up than bringing the heels back. So I'm going to ask him to go ahead and bend your at the elbow, the hands, everything's nice and secure and firm. Pushing down into the floor with the elbows to really be able to get his shoulder blades onto his back. Do me a favor and straddle both of these. One way or the other, so yeah, good. So elbows in, feet are grounded, and then he's going to come up, bringing the hips up, rolling the shoulder blades underneath, so that we are thinking about bringing the sternum to the chin rather than the chin down. So we don't want any pinch here. We want to bring this up. You can see he's got great extension here, and he's going to breathe. We're going to do a little sequence here, so you listen to your body and what you can do. First thing we're going to do is bring the hands down underneath us and clasp them underneath. Inhaling up. At any time, you can always bring your hips down. Listen to yourself. It's going to take a couple of deep breaths here. And then some of us might need to come back to that original position with the elbows out, but otherwise we're going to bring our left foot in and then take the right leg up. And again, lifting. Beautiful. Foot flat, lifting up through the body, taking a breath, exhaling down, and then switching sides. Again, just listening to what your body can do today. You may come down during this sequence, it's okay. Exhaling, go ahead and bring that leg down. And then just releasing the hands, letting the hips come down, letting the hands come onto the belly or onto the heart area, and take a couple of deep breaths. This pose can exhilarate us. It can also really help us to calm down. He's got his knees resting on one another, and in a deep sense of letting go. Beautiful. And just go ahead and roll over to one side, and we're going to come up to seated position. And we're going to come into a version of Janu Shirshasana. So we're going to bring our right leg out first, and the left leg's going to bend in. So we're going to turn towards this front leg. So we're going to turn towards the right leg and get nice and tall. And at the first part of this, we are really working on getting some activity in the lower back muscles and not so much through the thoracic spine. So we're going to come forward, and it's going to probably be very slight. But we're going to ground the hips down. The right toes are coming towards us. We may keep our hands like Steve has, or I may put them onto my shins. Some of you who are more open, as long as the heart is staying, the heart is coming towards the feet. So rather than this, right now, we're doing this. So we're just targeting a different part of the body. Those of you who may have a strap or a belt at home can do the same thing, where you pull forward. Now we're going to switch it. So go ahead and let the top part of the spine round slightly, so we can feel an opening in the thoracic spine, that middle part of the spine. Beautiful. Inhale, come up, and we're going to switch sides. So hands on either side, start to twist open, and again, we're going to start with that pivot from the hip, and really feel the opening in the hip and the lower back muscles. Around tops. Breath is nice and deep. Go ahead and get the other stretch by just bringing the head down slightly. You can also feel the muscles on the top of the pelvis get a stretch here, especially if we're really supporting by pulling the core muscles in. Inhale, come on back up. And we are going to do the same pose differently. So I'm going to have Steve come into a down dog and come into pigeon on his right side. And then those of you who have really tight hips, or perhaps pigeon is just a real challenge for you, so we'll do it lying down. So he's going to come in this first part of the pose. Actually, can you just bring your foot back? So to bring his foot back here, his right knee is going to be out just a little more so from his hip, and then he's going to flatten the back foot, and then come up and over that. Now he likes to do it with his front leg, even with the front of his mat, which is a little bit more challenging, but that's also accessible. And those of us who might have really tight hips, what we can do is this version, and it's really effective. I'm going to put my head on the blanket. I don't know if I'm in the picture. Hopefully you can see me. And then we're going to bring this leg in, and so we can use the opposite hand on the knee that's up, and then bring the other leg in till we can really target this hip on the side where the ankle is up on the knee. And then take a couple of nice deep breaths there. And then exhale, we're going to start to release down. And then we'll switch sides. So Steve can come through downward facing dog, feeling the difference in his hips and stretching out. And then he'll come through onto the other side. And then those of us doing lying version of pigeon will just switch sides as well. So it's important to keep a 90-degree angle on this leg. So instead of just letting it drop down, because this becomes the leverage back, so we're pulling into the back of this thigh and then this knee away. Breathing in, breathing out, and in and out, and really enjoying your breath. And the thoughts start to get less and less as we breathe deeper and move the body. Exhale, release down. Or in the case of full pigeon, go ahead and come back into a downward facing dog. And then come on down to your knees. And then we're going to come to seated. So we're going to do just a seated butterfly position. First, we're going to just bring the soles of the feet together and then get nice and tall, lifting up out through the chest. And that's just instead of thinking the knees down so much, think of an extension out through the hips. It's not so important how far they go down, but just the engagement and the movement, the lengthening of the muscles. Again, keeping that form that we did in the Janushirshasana, where we just pivoted from the hip. Think of that again as you come forward towards your feet. So again, not so much a rounding here, but just a forward motion with the sternum coming towards the feet, heart towards the feet, and breathing. Inhale, come on back up, and I'm going to ask you to lay back on your backs. And we're going to do a lying version of the same pose. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Hands to the heart or to the belly. And allow this softness, this opening come into the body. And in your next inhale, start to bring the knees towards one another and bring your right leg out flat and your left knee in towards your chest, bringing your hands behind the back of the thigh, and then bringing that left foot up towards the sky. Setting up the hips, then we can bring the hands down to cactus pose or all the way out, and then taking that left leg across the right side of the body. And imagine that I am there with you, because I am in your heart, and that I am just using my hand to bring this hip down slightly to help get a little bit more of an opening here. So I like to think of this hip coming towards the foot that's down. So his left hip is coming down towards his right foot. Inhaling the right foot up, left foot, and then exhaling the left foot off to the left side. Beautiful. So again, imagining that one of us is there just giving you a little bit of a pressure here on the thigh, not much. Beautiful. And then inhaling. I'm going to ask you to bring that leg up, and then we're going to bring the opposite foot up. And then we're going to switch. And we're going to bring our hands behind that thigh to get the hips set. Then the hands out to either side. And then exhaling, bringing his right leg across the left side of his body. Again, just that little intention, feeling the cosmic love of the hand here, coming, giving it a little bit more on the side. Inhaling up. Exhaling off to the opposite side, and then tracking the side down. Beautiful. Inhale. Go ahead and bring that leg up, and then just slow lower that leg to meet the other one. And then we are going to come into our resting pose of Shavasana. So take a moment to put on your socks or any clothing that you might need, and giving yourself the opportunity to come in with your palms up, your feet open wide. And for a moment, I'm going to ask you to think about your breath, to feel the breath inside your body being long and going through the whole central channel of your being. We're purposely letting go. We're purposely letting go so that we can feel the essence of our energetic bodies. Our physical body houses or is said to encompass the soul and spirit. And sometimes we forget to have such deep respect for the body, and it's always the faithful servant to us. And without it, there is no human experience. So coming to your mat with a sense of ease, steadiness but ease, and really having a loving sense of your practice as you go through it. The body realizes through the heart how you are connected on all levels. Some parts of our life seem to be more challenging than others. We may go through whole phases where it just feels like there's so much chaos. And that's what keeps us coming back to our mat, to the meditation cushion. Because whenever we may feel separate or alone, we go inside where there is no you and I, but there is this beautiful essence of the us, of united souls. Each of our journeys may look slightly different or could look a lot different, but the journeyers are all the same. Start to move your fingers and your toes as you take a nice deep breath into your body. And perhaps move your head from side to side. Keeping the breath nice and deep and long and even, just rolling over to one side or the other, your left lunar side or your right solar side. And then just slowly coming to a fetal position and keeping that sense of harmony in yourself to start to push yourself up to a seated position on your mat. Our practices are for our individual self as we try to keep our body, our mind, our spirit healthy. But as each of us makes that effort, we are actually helping the whole. We add an energy of wholeness and health to the collective. So each time you come to your mat and do your practices, you are doing it for the benefit of all beings. So for a moment, just bring your left hand to your heart center and your right hand out. Remembering that the fearless heart is that I am not afraid of my life or what is in my heart. Bringing our hands back to center into Anjali Mudra and then forming our lotus. And placing whatever intention it is that we have right now into this beautiful personal lotus flower. And then offering up overhead for the good of all beings. Anjali Mudra above the head, and let's join in one Om, and as we Om, we'll bring it down in front of our heart. So breathing out, and breathing in,